Hi, my name is Jude Madelich Hall. Welcome. This is Titles, Talk, and Tipples. My guest today is Mari Stein, the writer of Nothing About This Is Easy, and Here Is Why.
Right.
Thank you, Mari, for joining me. So what are we drinking today?
You're drinking actually a really pale amber liquid right now.
Yeah.
Ice, which is melted.
Yes, mine's melting too. So,
it is the #1 beverage that smells and looks as good as it tastes.
yes. Yeah, a 12-year-old Scotch.
Oh, I didn't realize how. Yes.
Oh yeah, we can say how old it is, we can say what it is, but we can't say the brand names.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of hard to. You could tell it's not rum. That's a good
yeah,
thing.
yeah, it isn't rum. Cheers. Yeah.
I touched up my nails too because they were hideous.
That's great. They match your shirt. And we're
Yeah.
both wearing, is yours a fedora? Is that what that's called?
Well, no.
No.
This is I forget. This is the Panama hat. It's the style is called urban, and so you could wear it like this, or you could wear it
Oh.
like this.
Oh yeah.
And did you know we can roll these things up and put them in a box? There is a box in
Oh,
a
wow.
little like coffee, holder thing.
Uh-huh.
And so basically, any hat, as long as it's the right size, you can make this into anything. Like basically, I think this way is closer to a trilby, but I don't really know.
Yeah. And that you
Yeah,
can roll that hat and not ruin it.
yeah, you can sit in
Wow.
this hat and not hurt it.
Wow, that's amazing. Not this one. This one would get ruined.
And I am great for sitting things on my hats and sitting me on my hat. I seem to always have like some kind of a little nest thing going on in the corner where I sit.
Hmm.
It's really stupid, and 90% of the time there's a hat there.
Yeah,
You never know, you might need a hat.
absolutely. Yeah, I have a little nest. This chair is huge, and so I don't tend to sit all the way back very often. So I have like a sweatshirt behind me. I mean, I'll find my phone back there, a book. Just- yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I found my writing today. I mean,
Oh, that's great. So you lost a story and you
yeah, I
couldn't
told
find it.
you that I did have a story to send, and then I told you I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the story, and it's back. So I
Oh,
have
yay.
an individual story.
Oh, very good. Yeah, losing stuff we've written. I know that's hard on any writer. I mean, it's kind of devastating, you know.
Really is.
Yeah.
And don't you, well, mine is always my own doing.
Oh, yeah.
Mad at my work, and it's like, well, yeah, this is gone from everywhere.
Hmm.
And my story about the spider, I didn't really write in 1985. I wrote, I don't know, like in 1970.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it wasn't any good.
Oh.
And so I put it in the back of the closet. And around 1985, I found it again.
Oh, that's great. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do that with everything. I decided, oh, this is terrible. And my solution is always to hide it.
And so you didn't think it was a very good story, but you found it recently and you reread
Yeah.
it, and it's a good story.
I did. And the same thing with the reception that I got in Writers Group about Dan Fulton, Detective Dan Fulton writes a story. I didn't get a very I didn't get a good reception, but now I started reading it again. It's actually good.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you find your own work,
Yeah.
and it's been the long enough time that it's almost like you're your own audience. You're not looking at it from a writer anymore. You're looking at it from a reader. Yeah.
And the only reason that I can understand that my book is even reasonably fluid is that when I did the book, I spent between 3 and 5 hours a day, every day for 6 days working on that book.
Yeah.
And you do get better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my publisher all the time is saying you're just going to get better. You just,
Yeah.
And it's like there's going to be a day where you look back at this first book. My deadline was yesterday. So it's very exciting. I handed in my copy edit, and he's like, there's going to be a day that you look back at this first novel and think, what was I thinking? But that's the process. It's not a bad process. It's just a process of growing and maturing and just getting better. And there'll always be a place in our hearts for our first stories and stuff, of course. But
and really, they have a certain amount of validity.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
you know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
But when I started a writers group, people would go, I think you have 2 stories here. I didn't know what that meant. Like,
Oh, yeah.
perspective are you writing? I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't understand. What is your genre?
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
This. And really, they guided me through, and it was so good because they don't write the stuff for you. That's what you find out.
Yeah.
Everything that's wrong, but they are not going to fix it for you.
No. You are a writer on the spectrum. And
Yes.
so that's obviously a huge part of your life because it's been your life being on the spectrum.
Exactly. Yeah, it's amazing the coping skills that you wind up with.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
You explain a lot in your book, and I stayed up till midnight last night, or 12:30 last night, reading
wow.
through it. And I didn't get through the whole thing. It's such a. I'm not. I can read fast, but I don't like to read fast because I like to
Right.
absorb what I'm reading. And so I
Right.
found I was like, oh, I'll just I'll get through this in a couple of hours. But it's so. It's so realism. It's based in realism, and
Right.
I love your writing. I
Thank
really adore it. And I was just like, nope, I'm just gonna. So I think I got through maybe a third of it,
Yeah.
and just really enjoying each
Uh,
little story. Because it's a novel, but it's like each chapter is its own little story. So you
Yeah.
can. Every chapter completes itself, and
And that's like one of my close friends who knows my writing. She bought my book, and she said, "I'm just reading it one story at a
Mhm.
time, so that I will have it. It's for so many more nights because she
Yeah,
read before she went to bed." And I thought, that was very nice.
yeah, yeah. It's very poignant. It's so a lot of it is what a lot of people go through.
Right.
But the what is it? Neurotypical people go through some of the same things. So there's definitely that place for compassion of
Exactly.
understanding what you're going through. But of course, there's those other aspects of yeah, you don't have control over
Uh-uh.
this. It just grabs you by the back of the neck and won't let go, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Fortunately, I'm smart enough that I should say my friends are smart enough that if we're somewhere and I say we have to go now, they understand that now means now,
Hmm.
and they will make a path for me.
Oh,
Thank
that's good.
God. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have avoided most meltdowns.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been writing since at least 1970. So when did you start writing?
I really think, well, after the war protesting, I think,
Right, because you were big into politics, right?
right. And I was a big protester. I know it sounds ignorant to be so proud, but I was one of the people who knew when and where people were going to meet for the band to go to Canada.
Oh,
And that was, I was just honored. It's like, can't they see I'm here? Because that was secret, but yeah,
sure.
we were a truly fine bunch.
Yeah.
As our this is horrible. I'll probably cry.
Oh, that's
As
okay. Yeah.
our priest, who there's always a priest
Hmm.
that's going to lead you in your peace marches.
Yeah.
Well, the person that I knew, that I had always given him a little bit of money. I got him a coat
Oh,
for the winter. He was a homeless person, and he would always talk to me about his raccoons.
mhm.
And because he and his raccoons lived under the bridge. Well, our father Malone was murdered by him
Mm.
because he thought, because he had some kind of a psychotic thing going on, and he thought father was going to hurt the raccoons.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it doesn't. I did stop giving him things before that happened, though, when he was standing out on 6th Street screaming at the top of his lungs, I love this woman.
Yeah. You're like, okay, that's enough. Wow.
God,
Goodness, yeah. So you helped people dodging the draft
indeed.
for
And
the
my
Vietnam
husband,
War.
exactly.
Wow.
And my husband was a conscientious objector and went through all of the stuff. It's not easy.
No, yeah, they put him through hell to be a
Yeah.
conscientious
Yeah.
objector. There we go. Yeah.
Right. And you know what? When I was a hippie, I wasn't odd. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Everything
everything fit in, right?
fit in, and people you say, you're the most together person I ever met. Well, welcome to Asper. Because yeah, it's really in the way people see things, and really, people in the peace movement,
Mhm.
we loved each other. There wasn't any, how in a big group there's always like there wasn't, you know, we were the
Tight.
group. We were an enormous group.
Mm. About how many people?
Oh God, it was enormous to me. It's like 120.
Yeah, that's a lot of people to have in one place.
And one time when we were protesting, and you know, I was on the corner protesting in the median strip,
Mm.
and a flatbed trailer came driving through, cut the corner
Oh.
off because he was mad.
Mm.
If somebody hadn't pulled me back, I would be dead.
Oh goodness, yeah.
And to this day, I don't know who it was. I mean, I was just in such shock.
Yeah. You're standing up for peace and someone tries to run you over.
Right.
So your political career, wow, helping people dodge the draft and almost getting hit by a car and
Yeah, and I mean, because we would rally and we would read well, the priest would read the war dead.
Hmm.
The new war dead since the last time we read.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Ah, intense. It's great.
And
So
then
you,
oh, and the FBI was photographing us, or somebody was, so we're all waving. 'Cause we don't matter.
hi. That's great. Yeah. And so you
Yes,
started writing after,
yes.
after the war, after the Vietnam
Yes,
War.
after my work was done, before I got new work. Yeah, but my husband and I are both people who are making or writing something all the time our eyes are open. And
That's
so
great.
that worked out really well in the shop. I mean, we'll be making something and he'll go, look at this. Doesn't this look like a cookie? I go, oh yeah, let me call Spectrum and sell them the idea. It's like, ooh, something more to do.
Yeah. So what were some of the first things you wrote about?
Oh, this is interesting. Before I knew how to write, I wrote what things looked like from my side,
Mm.
but I phrased it. I was a bad writer, and I just took you right into my view of the world and traveled through the world as this odd stranger. And that's basically what I wrote, but it really just wasn't relatable. You
Mm.
know what I mean when you read it again? I
Hmm.
think Annabelle is really the first good thing I wrote.
So everything that you've written, the book, Nothing About This Is Easy and Here's Why. So some of those writings are from way back.
Yeah, yeah, they are. And I started my Aspie Path Facebook page, I think about 9 years ago.
Okay.
It's a mess. You know, it needs professional help.
You know, that's funny that you say that because my website has been sitting untouched for about a
Right.
year. And I think that's a lot of writers because we're writers.
Exactly.
And so like I just got my website cleaned up and looking nice and and organized.
My blog is cleaned up, but it is not looking nice. It
Oh.
really, I don't know how to do that. And I know, you know what? I have a friend who's 80 and she has all of these books, Excel for Dummies.
Oh
I mean,
gosh,
she's
yeah.
brilliant. And I might get her to set up my,
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some nice because you're through WordPress. I'm on WordPress.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know. I'm just not a technological person, you know. I mean, people will tell me to do certain things on Facebook. I can't even figure that shit out.
Right, exactly. I
So,
don't like programs that are not intuitive.
yeah, and you know, they'll say these programs are intuitive, and I'm like, then I'm not intuitive because I
Right.
don't get it. But I did finally figure out WordPress. And but it took like I had to actually look up articles because what I ended up doing was wiping out my entire website and I had to start over. And I was like, you know, there's got to be a way not to go through this. And I looked it up, and sure enough, it was simply just changing the theme. Like, you can't build your website and then try out themes because it
Yeah.
auto saves and then you can't switch back.
Yeah.
So I ended up like losing everything and starting over. I was so angry.
Trying to be clean.
Yeah,
You
just
know what I
clean.
mean?
Yeah.
Like not look like, like I know as little as I do. You know what I mean? I don't want it to look like that.
Yeah.
And I do believe in paying people for their work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's a big deal.
Yes. Oh
In
gosh, yeah.
writing. And send it to like your one place that's gonna take it for free.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
The
that's
places that want art for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody who wants art for free can go to hell.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so rude. You wouldn't ask a plumber to come fix your toilet for free. You know.
God, no. And you know what? That is exactly where I learned our stained glass principles. If somebody wants us to come out for an estimate, we charge as much, and just like the plumbers.
Nice.
And you know what? All you get from that is respect.
Absolutely, yeah. I want to give you a quiz on your book. So how I did this was I chose, so like each of your chapters has its own title.
Right.
And so I didn't want to make it too tricky. So I hope oops, dropping stuff. So, so the idea is I'm going to read you a line from a section of the book, and then you're supposed to try to name that section. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, I totally understand where we're going.
Okay.
And her story is you're not in the club.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah.
You are not in the club.
Yeah.
Because she was a neurotypical. Neurotypical.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like.
And she looked down her nose at you because of your Asperger's.
Yeah, and it's like, just shut up and get away from me. I mean, it's not, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
And it makes me angry.
From her point of view, shut up and get away from me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, exactly. I thought you were saying that from your point of view. No, that's from her point of view.
That really hurts a lot, because when you get that look,
yeah,
you didn't know it was going to be there. It's a surprise.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm gathering from the book, and I'm learning about you as I'm reading it. And it's always surprising to you when someone is mean.
Yes.
Yeah. And, I think like it should be surprising to everybody when someone is mean, but it's such a part of, anyone can walk out their door and be mean or be mean to by someone else, and it's almost accepted.
Oh, I think so.
It's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that has a great deal to do with tribalism, which we are tribal.
Sure.
But I don't know why it has to be the Lord of the Flies. And this, in this century.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's the thing, though, is I suppose when you're, even in tribes, if you're coming across another tribe and you're fighting over food,
right,
or whatever, that would be necessary for survival. But ultimately even throughout, through generations of people, it's always been proven that if you work together, everyone is better off.
Exactly.
Everyone is better off.
Everyone. And there are more and more writers on the spectrum now, and I'm trying to get us together, a group where we can support each other.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we're partway there.
Yeah.
Because there are always people who are not used to working with people.
Sure, yeah.
It's, I could do better without you. It's like, that's not a problem. I'm trying to take advantage of you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's like we just need to work together.
And this is another good one. I know that you know this. You have to be careful because someone will steal your work. I could only pray my work is steal worthy.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, that's so iffy. Half the time it's so hard to prove. I don't know. Unless someone steals your stuff word for word. You know how
Right.
there are ideas floating around, and we are lucky if we get to grab onto that idea. But you know what I found is I mean, this is kind of going away from the quiz, but we'll talk about it anyway. I found that even though I started my novel 5 years ago, and of course, we're always influenced. We're influenced by everything we watch. We're influenced by every single thing we read. So, of course, somewhere along the line, I was influenced, right? I mean, I can trace back where my influence came from. I studied Dante's Inferno in college. And then I had the profound, amazing gift to discover Neil Gaiman's and Terry Pratchett's Good Omens. You know, oh God, my favorite book in the world. And so it was just these great takes on these philosophical, theological themes, and so that's where I chose to take my first novel. And I had a dream, this crazy dream, and I started writing it down, and that's what became my novel that's going to be published this year. But I noticed that even though I started that 5 years ago, that about a year after I had started my novel, all these similar themes started to pop up. I was seeing shows about it, and other authors self-publishing this stuff, and I was like, I'm not going to get mine out fast enough. I swear I had this idea 5 years ago, you know.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, it's just funny how waves of ideas kind of go through our entire society, and similar themes just pop up, you know. And so it's really hard to say what is plagiarism, what is stolen ideas, and what isn't. What is just kind of floating in the air, waiting for us to grasp.
Here's the deal: if nobody steals my "What is more important than world peace" with the title,
Oh yeah,
and the exact words, we have a problem. If they want to refer to their own situation with that, I'm good with it.
yeah. Now, I actually, I remember us talking about that one, and then I read it last night, and you're arguing with your reflection in the mirror.
Yeah, my face is totally ungrateful.
Yes. All the money you spent on it. Just wants a facelift. You're like, there's no money for a facelift.
And wants my dog to eat cheaper food.
Yes.
It's the same answer as always. I have thumbs.
And that's what's more important than world peace. World peace is more important than a facelift, right?
Yeah, well, it's not more important than our face, but it's more important than a facelift.
Yes.
No, what you're seeing right here is 74 years of neurosis.
Well, I think you look great. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just like, man, I work really hard at it. And my mother used to always say, God, you are so vain. It's like, yes.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yeah. All right. So how about the quiz? We got off subject, but let's try to do this. So I have it written down, but it's too far away. So yes, I will be. I try to make it so that I don't have to look at
Sure.
my notes, but that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the section that I read, yes, so here it is. When the answer I am seeking is near, it feels the same as that moment when the magic eye picture just begins to emerge. The heart slows. There's a space, a tiny space that feels like no other. I do not know what it is, but I know that I like it every time.
And you know what? I wrote that early on when Monk was on TV.
Yes.
I don't remember the title of that,
but that is the section where you talk. Yeah, you talk about Monk, the show Monk, and this is really funny. So, my husband and I, we watched Monk years ago, and we're huge fans of that show, and we bought all the DVDs, all the seasons, and we haven't watched it for years, and we just recently started to watch it. And so when I came across this chapter talking about how that show Monk, has some, he has some autistic Asperger's type actions that he does. And so the title of this section is A Fine Eye for Better or Worse. And then that reminds me of his line, it's a gift and a curse.
Right, exactly. And in the shop, because when I'm focusing, when I have the concept, and when I know what they're looking for and I know what I can do, I always do this, and it's embarrassing, but I can't see inside my head without it.
Yeah.
And
I
can't see within my head. I can see it when I do that.
So, so it's like but I don't know. I don't think it's strange. I think, it's been proven that we have pressure points all over our bodies, right?
Good point, yeah.
And so, I come from a background of yoga. So it's like touch and working with the physical body. So that makes sense that, just this little movement can kind of help you hone in on what you know what,
it also causes people know not to talk when you're doing that.
Yeah.
And but it feels so good. The moment when that happens, it just feels so good.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you ask some more questions because I'll talk.
That's great. All right. So first it would rock, and then it would shake, then it would boil, then it would churn.
That was either a nice family dinner or something about our normal family.
Yeah, it was right around that section. I noticed that there were a few. This one was specifically titled Childhood.
Oh God!
And then the next one is a family dinner, a nice family dinner. Yeah. So it's around that same section of when you're talking about what it was like.
I'm still doing it.
I'm just not. I'm being interviewed.
No, we're being interviewed. Okay, that's cool. He's the best husband in the world. I mean, we are perfect for each other.
Yeah, his what was it? Was it a foreword or his little in the book? Yeah. I loved that section that he wrote about you. It was so beautiful and lovely.
The idea is copied from one of my ideas that I haven't written down yet.
Of course it is. And I look at his notes while he's sleeping. Write a book and call it my own.
Oh.
It's like,
No.
But no, I mean, what happened was we met, we were liking each other. He showed me his Mensa card. Seriously, that was all she wrote. That was enough, because they would say, like, if you could cheat on your husband, who would it be with? I would be Carl Sagan. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, Brian Cox. What the hell is wrong with you? But yeah, I think smart is real sexy, and I like being married to a person who is smarter than I am.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have the differences, and you're probably smarter than he in certain ways. And he's
Well,
smarter than you in certain ways.
I miss his IQ score by 5 points.
Oh.
And it's only because of my learning disabilities. That's my story. Yeah.
So you, in your book, you say you have an IQ of 126.
Oh, God, it's 129. Fix that.
Oh, okay. 129. Or you know what? I should double check that. So I might have read that wrong. Might have flipped the 6 upside down.
The only reason I never even knew until I looked on my high school transcripts. And it's right there. And it's like, why didn't anybody tell me? I would have enjoyed knowing that.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is, I am sad. I am scared. I am powerful.
How does that one go? I know it's all I have is the silent growl and the teeth.
Yes.
I don't remember what the name of it was.
But it was from a poem. Yeah. And I all I have is the silent growl and what was it? The teeth.
The teeth.
Yeah. Sensory overload.
And it is exactly how you feel. You do love them. You don't want to hurt them. You want them to get away from you and leave you alone. You know? So you try to send up all these signals so they'll know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. All right.
Everybody knows me now. Everybody I know knows me. If
That's
you
great.
know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important, I think. Yeah. And I think that's whether it's a family member or a friend, is they're going to, you grow so close that you recognize each other's triggers.
Yeah.
You start to recognize when someone needs support and when someone needs left the hell alone.
Exactly. And one day we'll close this up pretty fast, but
no, that's fine.
No, it's impossible to get lost in the park that we take our dog to.
Mm-hmm.
I was still lost. And Sadie and Rick were wherever the hell they were. And I'm running along the path and I'm saying, I better find you laying dead along the path. And I was like, God help you when I find you. My girlfriend called me and she said, hi, and I just started to cry. I said, I'm lost. I don't know where I am. I don't know what to do. And then I said, oh, I see Rick. And she said, if you ever feel that way again, you call me. And wherever you are, I will find you. And I will come and get you.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was the most amazing thing I really heard from anybody beside Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
she's a cute little southern steel magnolia.
Oh. Yeah.
Amazing.
A little southern belle.
Somebody asked her to read her poetry the way they wanted. She goes, I think I like it the way I read it.
Yes. That's great. Okay. Next is, I detest the sons of bitches who lie to me on the evening news and the morning news and all the news.
Newscasters, casting, whatever they cast.
Yes.
That's literally.
Yep. Yeah. So that's something you run into, is you take things very literally.
I do.
Just it's your brain, that you take things literally. And so when people, what was the example? Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
You're like, what does that mean?
There are no grains.
There are.
Oh, and a really funny, another thing that happened in real life was when I came out of anesthesia, my husband came down because I was like, I think 4 hours in recovery. I don't come out of anesthesia real well. And they're saying, Mrs. Stein, can you make some water? Can you make some water for us? I'm like, how am I going to make water? You know, I didn't engage with them at all. I mean,
right. They were asking if you could urinate, right?
Right.
And you're saying, I can't make water.
Right. And
turn on a faucet.
And I relaxed and urinated just like that. But I could have, you know,
yeah.
I don't know why medical people ask if you can make some.
Yeah. Of all the people, medical people should just be really direct.
Exactly.
Okay, so I've got a few more. Oh gosh, I loved this one. I loved a lot of them. I absolutely detest crazy for the sake of crazy. And that is exactly what we were dealing with.
Oh God,
I know. That one's a little obscure. So it was hard to find a line that didn't give it away.
Yeah, I don't remember what that's from.
So I'll give you a hint. How about that?
Yes.
She would jump on her desk.
Oh dear God, Miss McHenry.
Yes.
Oh. It was so horrible.
Miss McKendry's no science 7th grade science class.
Exactly.
When I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, this science teacher, 7th grade science teacher, didn't teach any science in her class whatsoever. Just got up on top of her desk and preached about proper masculinity and improper masculinity.
Panty wastes.
Penny wastes. That was the term she used. This was a real person.
This was a real person. This was her real behavior. In fact, the kids coming up that were going to be in her grade, you know, in her class, we knew it was just going to be just nuts.
And it's funny because you even say in the story is that everyone felt like they were exaggerated stories, and then you get into her class and it's not exaggerated at all. If not more crazy than the stories.
Exactly. Yeah, they didn't used to fire teachers back then.
And you know, that was my question. I was like, how did this teacher get away with this? And everybody got a B. I remember that. Everybody got a B in class.
Everybody got a B. I mean, we had teachers that would like just slam people into the blackboard.
Oh my gosh,
there
yeah.
wasn't anything really
Yeah.
that they couldn't do. And when my son was in the 4th grade, he went to a mostly white school, and there was this one teacher, and she detested the little black child.
Oh.
And the little girl said something, and she grabbed the front of her shirt and
Oh my gosh.
pulled all of her buttons off.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I spoke to the principal, but that's the thing. I'm fighting everybody's battles, and I have to get a ride to do it. So I'm there. I'm saying, you know, you can't treat people like that.
No.
And the principal said, we are just keeping our mouths shut. She has promised she will retire after this year because she has tenure and we cannot fire her.
It's horrible that, you know, luckily, I mean, I don't remember anything horrible happening. I heard stories. I did know of one teacher that can't remember the teacher, but I was talking in class, and which I always did. You know, I mean, my imagination was always going, and I wasn't just talking nothing. I mean, I was probably telling the person next to me about some dream I had or some story I came up with, or it was just. But this one teacher, she made me stand in the corner holding a book above my head.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the worst it got. You know, and that was in the 80s.
Yeah.
So when I was in elementary school. Yeah.
Or being in the 80s.
And actually, honestly, I don't know if that's my actual memory or if that was a story that, if that were a story that was told to me. And then I somehow absorbed it as being something that happened to me. I don't know, to tell you the truth.
Right.
You know, but yeah, that was about the extent of it. I mean, there wasn't spanking by the time in, you know, in the schools I was in, but yeah, it's
our junior high school
one of each.
Vice principal was the one to do all the spanking.
Oh.
So it's so cute. So he, you know, he called me in and he said, you know, I'm not going to do a spanking. I don't like to do spanking. Spanking for my job. And then he, you know, farther on, you know, closer to graduation, he was on stage and we just basically applauded.
Nice.
Standing ovation, and he said, they really like me.
Oh.
And yeah, bless his heart.
That, yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, and that's what it takes, right? Is one person to just not continue this cycle of abuse, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. What was it? Do you remember his name?
I don't.
Yeah.
I know if I search hard enough, I do that alphabetically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with all the sounds, I could find him, but he's pretty well.
Yeah.
Been there.
Well, yeah. Well, you remember him. And I'm sure a lot of, you know, all those people probably do. So that's great.
And I think we remembered him fondly in our yearbook as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All right, I have two more. This one, I don't know. We'll see. I wrote it down. I'm like, I wonder if you'll get this. Doodah, doodah.
Oh, dear
Doodah,
God.
doodah day, giggle, giggle.
Alexa, she is cheeky. I have more respect for her now.
Yeah, that's great. I did not know if you would get it. But yeah, the story Alexa and Me. It is so hilarious. I was laughing out loud when I read the conversation between you and Alexa. Was this a real conversation or was this a...
Well, Rick had told me to wake him up in 10 or 15 minutes. And so I said, Alexa, set an alarm for 10 or 15 minutes. And she said, I don't know how to do that. And I said, I thought you spoke neurotypical. Because, yeah, I don't do, what the heck?
Right, yeah, about, right? The about time. Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah. We're on decent terms now.
Yeah. That's great.
Echo, I have a problem with them because I have, I know. She's saying, I don't know that. Because if you say the word that starts with an A anywhere near any device, it'll, try to fulfill your wish.
So weird. We don't have any of that. We're kind of the most we have a smart Roku TV.
We do too.
And that was weird enough for us. It's like, this is the limit of how smart something is coming into this house. Okay, I have one more.
Okay.
Oh, well, okay. I didn't write down the title for this one, but you'll probably be able to tell me. Are we really out of money? If we are, can we take it out of the food budget? We have a pretty big investment here. I think we can redo the budget and continue as we always have.
What is more important than world peace?
Which we were talking about earlier, so that's perfect. Yeah, that argument with the reflection of your face in the mirror.
Used to get a facelift.
Oh, good for...
When you have Asperger's, or at least in my experience, when I look in the mirror, I really want to know that it's the face that I've always seen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just really important to me. I can't imagine what I would do with a facelift. I would have to wait until it sagged again, I guess.
Oh, right, because if suddenly you looked in the mirror and it was a different face.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, that should freak out anybody. Right?
I've gone in the filters where the hair looks like what? A hunk of multicolored crepe paper. I don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
Nothing looks like hair. Nothing looks like skin. Nobody has a pore.
Oh gosh. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We are weird. Humans are weird. It's like,
I mean, I don't even criticize them.
No.
I feel so bad. It wasn't that hard when I was a young woman. You know what I mean? It's like people expected us to look like people.
mm-hmm.
It's really hard now. I'm so
Oh
glad.
gosh. Yeah, there's just so much pressure from so many angles to look a certain way. I remember distinctly, I used to be involved in this group. We met once a month at someone's house. It was a potluck. And we were all business owners and all women. And it was super great for a long time. I think like I was involved with it for about 6 months, and everybody, it was just super great, you know, just local women, business owners, female business owners. And we would get up and basically we were promoting ourselves and getting to know people and eating and drinking together. And one day, it was the last one I went to, actually, was these people got up and you know, I have a yoga studio. At the time I had a yoga studio, and I got up, and when I promoted what I was doing, I was talking about like, this is a place where you can come and be exactly who you are. No expectations, no goals, no burdens of the past, no pressure of the future, you know, just, you know, come, you get on your mat, you're with yourself, you're with your body, everything exactly as it is. No pressure to change it, just be. And that was my spiel, right? And then we ran around this circle, and directly across from me, it came to these people that were these women. And the woman stood up, and the first thing she said, the first thing that came out of her mouth was, "What do you hate the most about yourself?" And I just like crumbled. It was just so yucky of like, yeah. And it was so weird because like the entire room like was like, yes, yes, yes. Oh, I hate this about and of course everybody had something they hated about themselves the most. And of course it was something physical. And I was just crushed. I was like, and it was just so weird how everybody was like, we were all mellow, we were all happy, we were chatting, we were laughing and joking. And then that happened, and it was like everybody suddenly turned on themselves. And everyone, you know, oh, I hate the wrinkles here, and I hate my saggy here, and I, you know, my bulge here, and the woman, and the other thing that the woman said, she was like, how old do you think I am? And you know, it's like, it doesn't matter how much plastic surgery someone has gotten, you can tell how old they are. Absolutely. Because they look like someone of a certain age that has had plastic surgery. And so everybody was like, they were feeding into the game, right? Oh, you look 35. Oh, and I was like, you look 45. You look 50. Right. You know, the one was like 45 and the other one was like 55 or something. And I was like, yeah, you can tell that you're 55. Right. You just look like a plastic doll. Oh, that's exactly. All, you know? And it's just, it's so sad. I feel it's
about in the 50s, plastic. And now we have seriously plastic people.
Seriously, yeah.
And I feel so bad for them. But, I mean, you know, they have to live in their generation, live their life. But if nobody says no, it's not going to get any better.
Yeah. And so, you know, and I do think like Facebook is weird and as icky as it can be sometimes. I do enjoy all these people standing up and saying, look, this is me unfiltered, you know, and I do this show unfiltered. I do not filter this show, you know, and, you know, it's just like, this is me with dark circles under my eyes. This is me with my wrinkles. You know, and I think I love that wave of people coming and saying, this is me in a bathing suit, you know, just, it's really cool. I think, you know, and I know it's a small percentage for the most part, because we're all still kind of squirmy about it, right? We're all trying to be real, but there's definitely like this uncomfortable squirminess about it. Because of
I have a friend from Sweden, and she was and is a beautiful woman, and she is in her mid-40s, and she is having a major crisis. And so, you know, if she wants to get a facelift, that is fine, but she is still really gorgeous. So I reinforce that, and she can do what she wants to do.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you've been friends on Facebook with somebody for like since 2009, is when I started on Facebook. I mean, you know these people and they know you. Mm-hmm. I feel really bad for her because she is one of these really beautiful women, and so it has to be harder for them. Because even my boyfriend, you say, you know what? Before Rick, you say, you know what? You're not beautiful. You're cute. And like, I can live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. We have been on for an hour and a half.
I know.
We didn't even get to our other topic.
No, but still, it's here.
Yeah, let's cover that really fast.
Right.
You are a collector of tarot cards.
Exactly. And the art is incredible.
Oh, yeah, the art. So this is a steampunk.
This is the
tarot. That's great. Which one is that? Is that the world?
It's the world.
That's great. Yeah.
And you know what? The book that came with it is especially nice. It's not like I happen to mark this. I don't know what. Anyhow, this is the Two of Cups.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, a yin yang.
Yeah. And what
That's
it
so
said
great.
is you say chemistry, I say magic.
Mm.
Not allow semantics to destroy this moment. And the core meaning is deep emotional connection or attraction. So,
That's sweet. Oh, I love it.
I do. I do too. And you know, I wasn't really going to send the Three of Swords to people, but I just remembered somebody insulted my husband.
Oh.
And he will be receiving the Three of Swords.
So let's
And the problem is, because I'm 4'10" and I smile, everybody thinks I'm the magic fairy. That's very
surprise, you're that angry redhead. Right? Just because your hair isn't red anymore doesn't mean you're not still the angry redhead.
exactly. And this guy that insulted my husband, he likes me. He talks to me. He's getting the Three of Swords.
So let's fill in the viewer. Mari doesn't like the Three of Swords.
No, it should be thrown out of every deck.
Every deck.
I think I have the Three of Swords handy here in the, yes.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a different deck than you showed me.
This really is my favorite deck. This is the Mima Brigg, who is a brilliant
Tarot.
artist.
There's so many artistic, I mean, that's so great. When I was growing up, my mom was involved, you know, she had a tarot deck. And so for years and years, I only saw the one tarot deck. And then I became an adult and moved to a place that we have this really cool bookstore. And they have so many tarot decks. And I just was like, wow, there's so many artistic tarot decks. There's a Buddha tarot deck. And then, you know, I just bought it for fun. I don't dawdle with it, but I have a Nightmare Before Christmas tarot deck. And that's the only one I have. But, oh, they're just beautiful.
They are. I mean, and I like some of the more whimsical ones don't have quite as dire, but I told you my solution for the dire. We just left Happy Squirrel, who is hiding from me now, but it's okay. The Happy Squirrel.
The Happy Squirrel. That's your answer to a negative dire reading is Happy Squirrel. That's so great. What deck is that? Is that from the steampunk deck or?
No, this is the Mig.
Nice. That's so great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're making me want to go spend money, Mari.
This is the best deck. I mean, like my goal is always happiness. You know, I don't do much sadness. I don't think it's healthy, and I'm able to avoid it. So yeah, I think this is the deck, right?
Yeah.
How can you go wrong with the deck?
Oh, and it even has like did you put that heart? Is that heart tape?
God, I did. Guess
that's perfect.
This, whatever the hell it is. I bought 50 rolls of it.
Oh, I love it. That's great. Well, this has been great, Mari. It's so nice talking to you. I get to see you every Friday on here, you know, which is so very nice.
I so look forward to it. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. So giving you a plug for your book again, Nothing about this is easy, and here is why. Is your novel, a very wonderful novel that I am enjoying every single little story out of it. It's so funny and heartfelt and real, and just wonderful that I hope everybody goes and buys this book.
Thank you. Me too.
Yeah. And I look forward to seeing you next week, and thank you so much for being on my show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Good job.
Oh, thank you. You too. Great job.
Thank you. I'm going to hit leave, but I wanted to tell you good job.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. It was really great talking to you. I'm glad we got to do this sooner than later.
Me too. Because, like I said, I can't do anything without my back against the wall. So when you say, can you do it tomorrow? I said, oh, yeah.
Yeah. You rescued me, so I appreciate it very much. I wouldn't have had a show this week without you, so.
No.
Yeah.
So much.
You're welcome. Yeah. Oh.
See you Friday.
See you Friday. Thank you, Rick. Right, Rick? I want to.
Chapter of my novel. It's taken 4 years to write.
Yes, it took me 4 years to write mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
what is your novel?
It's a stupid novel.
No, it is
No.
It's a very good novel, but the hero's a 13-year-old boy.
Oh, that's okay. Well, tell me about it.
He grew up in the circus, and he can't do anything. He hates the circus, and he just wants to leave. He gets a bicycle when he's 13. Says the circus travels around instead of being a circus. He just travels around and rides around in towns and gets, meets people and gets in trouble and all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
It's a wonderful book.
He ends up living with his uncle who was just like him.
Oh, well, wonderful.
It's
So,
like, for all of other people, and it's like, everybody that doesn't fit in, which is all of us.
yes, yeah, on some way or another, right? Well,
If you do fit in, something's wrong with you.
what is it called? What's the title?
Right now it's called The Bicyclist, but I got to come up with a better name, I think.
Yeah, it feels like circus, bicycle. Yeah, it seems like you could come up with a really cool title for it.
Yeah. Because Carlos and the whole family has a personal growth experience, so it's wonderful.
Oh, I look forward to.
Like the family goes all different directions, like most families. And,
Oh, sure, yeah.
but it's not, and it's really mild. He doesn't really do anything bad. He deals drugs, but he's just doing it because he's working for someone that he wants to make happy.
That's great. It sounds wonderful.
He hangs out with the clowns because his dad told him they're all drunks, which in this case they are.
They are. So it took you 4 years to write. Is it complete? Oh, yeah, you can't walk away now.
I'm on the last chapter, but it's right. It's in my head. I got, really just a few more pages.
Oh, that's exciting.
He reads it to me every day, and I am really good at critique.
She's always my first editor.
Yeah, my husband is my first editor.
I kind of will tell you.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's I just
make it understandable.
Yeah.
Take out some of the exclamation.
Right, and not like banned.
That's so exciting. Yeah.
What's your novel about?
My novel is, and Mari and I were talking about it earlier of like, what's your genre? And it's just like, I don't know. So
I call it a literary novel.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my genre.
So my publisher and I, we've decided to put it under, let's see if I can get this right. It's definitely fantasy, but it's like gothic fantasy satire. So
nice.
Yeah, and it's basically like steampunk. It's got some steampunk elements to it, but it's not full steampunk. It's very subtle. It's like the way I did it, it's there, but it's not in your face steampunk. And so, yeah, and it's
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she used to make steampunk jewelry.
Oh yeah, it's great. So it's very subtle, but then I delve into theological aspects. So these characters that I have, they actually have to travel through hell. Oh. And that's where my influence of Dante's Inferno came in. Of like, I do my own take of Dante's Inferno, which is probably about a third of the book. But lots of world building, lots of background, and I have background stories for everything. And the idea is to be able to do prequels and sequels. So it's a really broad universe. But yeah, basically it's these people that live in a steampunk world have to go through hell to find out to fix global warming. So yeah, but the global warming is caused because demons are rising to the surface because heaven and hell are switching places. So it's
and getting elected president.
Yeah. Yeah, that probably had something to do with it. Well, thank you, Rick, for sharing. That's great.
We used to when we walk around in a store and stuff, we just talk the way we normally do it, and we're having a good time, and people come up to us and go, "Now don't fight."
Oh.
It's just improv all the time.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. We just live definitely an improv life.
That's great. Life should be improv.
Yeah.
You can't plan this shit.
Exactly. And I can talk some really serious smack when we're playing gin.
This is great. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I had a lot of fun.
Me too. I always have fun with you. That's what Rick says. Like that he could hear that I'm enjoying myself.
Good. I'm glad.
If you could do anything to make this big pale head smaller, you're editing.
Oh yeah, I don't go to that extent. Yeah.
I've accepted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're lovely.
Thank you, and as are you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
And here's the deal: when I die, I'm 74. I want everybody to know that if I said I love you, I mean it.
Yes.
And I love you.
Oh, I love you too. Thank you. Give you a big heart. Yeah. Thank you.
And I may leave or I won't leave.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. I will see you Friday. Next Friday.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Me too. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.